The Story of See How They Run, 2022. In 1953 London, Agatha Christie's play The Mousetrap celebrates its 100th performance, and the sleazy American director Leo Kopernik attempts to convince the producer John Wolfe to allow him to direct the film adaptation. After Kopernik's drunken behavior towards the female lead Sheila Sim leads to a fistfight with her husband and co-star Richard Attenborough, Kopernik is killed backstage by an unseen assailant. Inspector Stoppard investigates the murder, shadowed by the inexperienced Constable Stalker. Everyone at the theater is declared a suspect and a potential victim, including the play's producer Petulous Spencer and Wolfe's wife Adana Romney. Stoppard attempts to close the theater until the murder is solved, but the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Harold Scott, intervenes, assigning Stalker to assist in the investigation. Stoppard and Stalker search Kopernik's room at the Savoy Hotel, finding his address book of women's details. The hotel manager recalls Kopernik's violent argument with the screenwriter Mervyn Cochrane-Norris, who admits to arguing with Kopernik over the director's vision for an action-packed ending for the Mousetrap film. Cochrane-Norris, who lives with his hot-headed nephew Gio, remembers a plain woman arriving at the hotel with Kopernik's illegitimate son. Stoppard and Stalker question Wolfe, who was blackmailed by Kopernik after he discovered Wolfe's affair with his assistant Anne. Dennis, an usher at the theater, offers an unhelpful description of a suspicious figure. Attenborough and Sim are questioned as well. Spencer explains that she optioned the Mousetrap's film rights to Wolfe, but he would be contractually unable to produce the adaptation until the show had closed. At a pub, Stoppard bonds with Stalker and reveals that his unfaithful wife left him after having a child with another man. Driving a drunken Stoppard home, Stalker finds news articles and a picture of his ex-wife, fitting Cochrane-Norris's description of a homely woman with glasses. Combined with Dennis's description, this leads Stalker to suspect Stoppard may be the killer, and she searches for his ex-wife in Kopernik's address book. Stoppard and Stalker attend a performance of The Mousetrap, during which Cochrane-Norris, Wolfe, Dennis, Gio, and Stoppard leave the auditorium. Stalker soon follows after watching Stoppard retrieve his gloves. In the foyer, Mervyn is strangled to death by a gloved figure. Stalker spots Stoppard kneeling over the body and gives chase, knocking him unconscious with a snow shovel. Stoppard awakens in a cell, and Stalker and Scott accuse him of carrying out the murders. Stalker has summoned Joyce, the mother of Kopernik's son, but she is not Stoppard's ex-wife, exonerating him. Stalker escorts Joyce and her son home, and Joyce mentions overhearing a man with a village idiot accent. Reading through Mervyn's research on the Mousetrap, Stoppard realizes the identity of the killer and races to the suspect's apartment, where Stalker has already burst inside and found the necessary evidence. The killer is Dennis. Attenborough, Sim, Wolfe, Anne, Spencer and her elderly mother arrive at the home of Agatha Christie, having received invitations to dinner. The butler Fellows is perplexed by their arrival, but Christie's husband, Max Mallowan, allows them inside. The group are held at gunpoint by Dennis, whom Spencer's mother recognizes as Dennis Corrigan, an abused child whose brother's death inspired the plot of The Mousetrap. Dennis explains that he killed Kopernik and Cochrane-Norris in an attempt to stop the play and its adaptation, disgusted by the exploitation of his brother's tragedy for entertainment. Having forged the invitations to lure everyone together, Dennis has captured Adana, mistaking her for Christie. Christie enters with tea, including a poison cup for Dennis which Fellows drinks instead. An armed Stoppard arrives and a shootout ensues. Sim distracts Dennis with a Molotov cocktail, and Stalker nearly takes a bullet to save Stoppard, matching Kopernik's story pitch, before Agatha dispatches Dennis with a shovel. Some time later, Stalker passes her sergeant's exams, and a recovering Stoppard receives a medal, and they attend another performance of The Mousetrap together.